This woman was hospitalized after an accident that almost took her life, but there she experienced a much more serious problem. She saw and was terrorized by the ghost of a former nurse who had worked at the hospital, until finally, a fact was revealed. At the beginning of the film, there was a man working as a nurse in a hospital. At that time, he was treating a female patient and was given an injection. Not only that, the nurse also cleaned and cut the girl's nails. On the other hand, there was a woman named Dana who worked as an athletic teacher and a housewife. Dana always maintained her fitness to be healthier and fitter, until one day she was accidentally hit by a car that violated traffic when Dana was crossing. Dana was rushed to the hospital and treated there. She suffered temporary paralysis and several injuries to her face. Dana even had difficulty breathing, so she had to be helped by a respirator. When Dana woke up, her husband Steve was there to visit her and accompany her. Dana also had difficulty speaking because of the accident, so she had to use a laptop that had been designed to help her communicate. He asked about the condition of their daughter named Gemma. Steve said that Gemma was fine and not to worry. Unfortunately, every night Steve went home, leaving Dana alone in the room where she was alone and cold. That night showed midnight suddenly. Suddenly, the hospital lights flickered. There was only the receptionist in front, and she wondered what happened to the electricity. Meanwhile, Dana, who was in the room, felt something different in her room, as if someone was watching her closely. Dana tried to communicate using her laptop, and no one answered. But in the corner, there was a scary ghost figure with glowing white eyes. Then the cupboard door in front of her seemed to be opened. Dana felt herself constrained by her current condition. She, who usually ran to exercise, but now could only lie weak and helpless, while hoping she could get out of the hospital as soon as possible. Every morning, a nurse named Trevor came to help Dana clean her body and check her condition. At that time, Dana said that it seemed like someone entered her room last night. Trevor said that he did not see anyone enter. CCTV also did not show anyone. Trevor tried to open the cupboard in front of Dana, but it only contained cleaning equipment and others. Not long after, Gemma and Steve came to visit Dana. Trevor also told Steve that Dana might be hallucinating and feeling someone was in her room. When Steve talked to Dana, he asked Gemma to give them some space. Then, Gemma walked through several rooms and entered one of them. Gemma accidentally dropped some injections because she was surprised to hear the alarm sound. When she tried to reach it, she didn't realize there was a ghostly foot behind her. Gemma was found by Elizabeth, the owner of the hospital, because of the alarm. So Gemma was taken out because she wasn't allowed to enter the room carelessly. Meanwhile, Steve showed one of his sports friends named Ashley, but Dana's gaze didn't seem to like it. After visiting Dana, Gemma and Steve went home. Then that night, Dana was terrorized by the ghostly figure again. When she woke up, she saw a man named Dr. Ron, a psychiatrist who handled Dana's hallucinations. His way of speaking was quite scary and mysterious, but Dana tried to calm her down, and they started talking. When Dr. Ron left, Dana was disturbed by the ghost again. This time, the oxygen tube was damaged, making it difficult for Dana to breathe. The alarm sounded, causing the doctor on duty and Trevor to come to help. Since last night's incident, Dana told Steve about it and finally installed CCTV, which Dana could control herself and even hear the sound. Steve complained to Elizabeth about the bad incident that happened to his wife. If this happens again, he will sue the hospital. Elizabeth told Trevor that he should be more sensitive in taking care of patients. But Trevor also can't do much, especially since he also complained that he has a lot of work, but his salary is small. Besides that, he has a problem with rats that make holes in the walls of his room. Trevor thinks the hospital should have started renovations, but Elizabeth refused. Night begins to come again, and Dana tries to stay awake, afraid that bad things will happen again. Dana tries to find out past information about the hospital, until finally she finds a news that a nurse at the hospital named Eric Nelson died because of suicide. Dana asks Trevor about Eric, but he doesn't know anything about it. He didn't even work there the year Eric died. Not getting an answer, Dana asks Dr. Ron. Dr. Ron seems to know a lot about Eric. He starts to explain what happened to Eric. The incident happened a long time ago, when young Eric came to the hospital as a patient with mental disorders. He often injured his own body with scratches from his nails. The scratches continued to increase so that Eric was nicknamed Nails. Years passed, Eric showed improvement in himself and began to be controlled. When Eric continued to grow up, he applied to work at the hospital as a nurse. Eric worked well so that he received attention from many colleagues and hospital officials. However, Eric still had one obsession that he still carried out until now. He liked child patients, especially girls. He took good care of them, even cutting their nails and collecting them. But since then, the children who were cared for by Eric began to die, and suspicion naturally pointed to him. Not wanting to languish in prison, Eric finally committed suicide in the room where Dana is now. Dana's worries seemed not only about Eric's ghost, but Ashley became a threat to her family. Ashley was trusted by Steve to look after and care for Gemma at home, and that of course made Dana worried. That night, Dana was terrorized again by Eric's ghost. This time, Eric's ghost really appeared and wanted to kill Dana. Dana pressed the help button, and soon, Trevor came and Eric's ghost disappeared. Dana continued to convince Steve that Eric's ghost was real and he was in danger, but it seems Steve didn't really believe it. Dana began to try not to depend on the breathing apparatus. She began to practice so she could get better soon and get out of the hospital. One night, Dana was terrorized again by Eric's ghost, but this time, she was shown Steve's behavior at home. He and Ashley were having an affair, taking advantage of that opportunity. Then, Eric's ghost wrote a message on Dana's stomach that said, "I miss you. What does it mean?" Meanwhile, Trevor also experienced strange events, like something trying to move the patient's file cabinet. The file cabinet was open, and Trevor saw there was a file belonging to a small child patient named Dana Bryman. Unfortunately, that night, Trevor became a victim of Eric's ghost. Elizabeth found the file and gave it to Dana, so it turned out that Dana had been treated in that hospital when she was little. Dana is a daughter who survived Eric's crimes while he was still alive. The situation becomes increasingly tense and chaotic. Elizabeth tries to report this incident to the police, but she becomes a victim of Eric's ghost. Dana is also fed up with Steve's behavior, who always doesn't trust her, especially when she finds out that they are having an affair. Ashley leaves and is followed by Steve, who decides to separate from Dana. Only Gemma believes in her mother, but the situation is getting more tense. Eric's ghost begins to act. The hospital lights go out one by one, so Dana asks Gemma to escape from the hospital. Meanwhile, Steve tries to find Ashley, who turns out to be in the car. Unfortunately, Ashley has become a ghost and killed Steve. Gemma and Dana are still looking for a way out of the hospital, while Eric's ghost continues to terrorize them with his long nails. Dana even has to fall on the stairs because she can't stand normally. They find Dr. Ron's room. Ron is shocked why Dana is injured and comes here. Gemma tries to tell them that they are being terrorized by Eric's ghost. Dr. Ron doesn't believe it, then, from behind, Eric's ghost appears and finishes him off. The only way to stop Eric's ghost is Dana. She is the one being targeted. So Dana locks herself in Dr. Ron's room with Eric's ghost, while Gemma cries for her mother, begging her not to give herself up. Dana is hit by Eric's ghost until she finally dies. Gemma survived and told the authorities about the incident, but they didn't believe her.